What's up, fam? Can you guys hear me? I'm just wondering real quick because my speaker isn't working. Let me know if you guys can hear me on the other side. I know my screen is black right now. Okay, you guys can hear me. Good, good, good. I'm trying to play something in the background, but it's not playing for some reason. It's weird. Okay, give me one sec. Hear you loud and clear. Okay, good. Good, good, good. All right, well, there is something playing. We're going to start here shortly, guys. We may not have nothing playing in the meantime, but we're gonna rock this off. Help me promote this call. I know we haven't been on this call in over a week, so let's let everybody know that we're back. As of right now, my sounds looks like my speakers need to be reset because it's not letting me play any music or any audios for some reason, but it says it's playing. So give me one second, family. Let me see if I can fix this. All right, guys, if you're just joining, my speaker is not working currently. I think I may need to reset it. So just may have to play it in the quiet for a sec. Real quick, real quick, real quick. All right, guys, I am here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know my screen is black currently. So if you guys can't see me, I'm just getting everything organized here on my side. I'm going to be starting here in the next 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, guys. Let me just spread the word. For some reason, my speakers aren't working. May need to just reset it. But if I reset the laptop, I have to reset the whole stream. So we'll start in 2 minutes, guys. Help me spread the word, and we'll get this call started here shortly, family. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. All right, guys, getting started here shortly. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. And let's get the ball rolling. I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. After a long week of not being here, I am excited to be back. Let's get the ball rolling. Going live now. All right, guys, let's get this call started. Awesome. Well, grand rising, happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody is feeling good, feeling blessed, super excited. If everybody can hear me and see me, can I get just some 111s in the chat? If everybody can just hear me, see me good. Just want to make sure. I wasn't able to get any audios playing prior to the call. I think I got to reset my laptop because even if I fixed the sound and everything, it still wasn't delivering a sound. So I'm gonna make sure that I get that fixed for tomorrow. But I hope everybody has had a amazing past, I would say, week or so. I know that I wasn't able to do a call all of last week due to the fact that I was at the Vault conference. As you guys know, I was at this amazing event all week last week. I was able to learn so much. I was able to get so much value. I got a chance to learn from Patrick Bet-David, one of his business partners, Tom, Martha Stewart, David Falk, and the great Tony Robbins as well. It was absolutely amazing to be able to share that experience with my business partners, my leaders, and it was absolutely life-changing. It was truly a life-changing experience through and through, and I'm glad that I got a chance to experience that, and I know that I'm gonna make sure to bring all that value back. Yeah, nah, the sweater's hard. I love the sweater. Um, but I'm grateful to be here. You know, obviously, the last week or so, it's been tough for a lot of us here in this nation and just our communities with everything that has happened, from school shootings to, obviously the assassination of Kirk, and just been tough for sure. And obviously it's something that we see all over social media. Our prayers goes out to all the families that are affected by these tragic losses and everything that's happening. And in these times, it's more important that we stay together, we stay united, and that we understand that we got to put God first in these moments as well. And I think that now more than ever, we can see that God should be at the forefront of everything that we do moving forward. And it is extremely unfortunate, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason and a purpose. And everything from what I've seen, a lot of more people are becoming more united. More voices are speaking up, and just a lot of more amazing things that people were trying to avoid from happening is what's happening. People are speaking up. People are taking courage. People are making it a priority to speak out and voice their opinions. And I think that that's something that is really much appreciated. And I love that leaders are stepping up huge, and just people are getting tired of it. People are getting tired of it, but it's also bringing this sort of unity as well, which I'm also appreciating. So let's use this time to stay positive, to be the example, to voice the truth, to make sure that we understand that we got to love each other, put God first. Yesterday I was at church, and church was literally slammed, right? It was slammed to the brim. We couldn't even get any more people inside. We had to literally set up a TV outside for people to watch because of how much people are at church, how much people understand that right now more than ever, people need the Lord, people need Jesus. And I'm just grateful that we get to all experience just the shift that is happening in our lives right now. So very grateful to be here. Thank you guys so much. Excited to be back. Today is Monday, September 15th. And before we get started today, I just want to start off with some gratitude real quick, what is everybody grateful for this morning? Let me know in the chat box here on Instagram, here on YouTube. What are we all grateful for? I'm grateful for God and His grace in my life. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family, my mom, my dad, my little brother, my goddaughter, and my godson. I'm extremely grateful for the whole Alpha Society community. I'm grateful for my girlfriend, Andrea. I'm grateful for my dogs, Blue and Hazel. I'm grateful for the whole Mornings with Nano community. I'm grateful for the ability to speak my truth, my ability to teach. I'm grateful for Patrick Bet David, and the whole entire Vault conference and everybody at the Vault conference. It was absolutely amazing. Extremely grateful for it all. Right there's been a lot of amazing things that I've seen. Hazel's my cat's name. Oh, that's awesome. Shout out to Hazel. So grateful, 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 grateful. Remember, guys, we want to make sure that we start off every single one of our calls with some gratitude, because I think it's important that we jump into those things and just open up the floor to some gratitude. Now, real quick, before I jump into my quick training, all right, I do want to remind you guys of a couple quick tips. I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but I do want to give you guys quick tips that everybody can use to start their weeks off in the right path, right? These are three things that I do, potentially four, that I do at the beginning of each week that help me have my most productive weeks. I want you guys to write this down. If you want to have a productive week, three things you want to do, right? Number one is you want to do evaluations every week. I know that this is something that I talk about pretty often, but I just want to remind you guys, because evaluations are key, right? If you're not evaluating the week that you had prior, then there's a pretty good chance that you're going to probably repeat the same week that you had the week prior. And if you're not happy with the results that you're having recently, then it's important for you to do an evaluation. Remember, if you're taking notes, write this down. You cannot track what you do not measure. You cannot track what you do not measure. So it's important that we evaluate, right? So what does an evaluation look like? Three questions. What did I do well last week? What didn't I do well last week? And what improvements am I going to make the following week? Right? These are three questions that I believe every single one of us should ask ourselves every single Sunday, at the latest Monday. In reality, if you're doing this on Monday, you're already a little bit late, right? Because you want to go into the week with this already clear in your mind. So what did you do well last week? What didn't you do well last week? And what improvements are you going to make the following week? Those are the three questions that you want to ask yourself when it comes to an evaluation. Number two, and this is something that has helped me out. This is actually one of my newer strategies that have helped me out a lot, and I highly recommend you guys to get in the habit of doing, because it has helped me increase my productivity so much, is to do weekly brain dumps. Weekly brain dumps. And what brain dumps basically are is where you take everything that you got to do for the week and you dump it on a piece of paper, right? And you basically just take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and think of everything you got to get done this week, from bills you got to pay, things you got to order for the house, so much stuff we got to do, obviously, throughout the day. Flyers you got to get, the people you got to call back, events you got to set up. There's always so much that we have to do. So what I like to do is, at the beginning of the week, I like to do a big brain dump of everything I got to get done, from calls, people I got to call, bills I got to pay, things I got to get back to. I make a whole list and I dump it, right? Because what ends up happening is, a lot of the times, we like to use our brains as filing cabinets, and we like to keep everything in our heads. And what ends up happening is, we end up not doing those things, and then it ends up becoming dead weight on us, right? We have 2 weeks that we haven't paid that bill. We have a month that we haven't got a chance to set this up or set that up. And what ends up happening is, we end up adding on all this extra weight on ourselves. The reason why I love the brain dumps is because the brain dump allow me to go into my mind and basically dump everything I got to get done for the week. Everything I got to get done for the week. So, like, for example, let me see if I can give you guys an example of a brain dump that I've had here recently. Okay, so just take a look at this, right? So for example, right? So brain dump, I have a brain dump here that I made for the first week of September. So I had organized my finances for my rent. I got to get a tour flyer for the month of October. I got to organize the payment plans for the solstice retreat. I got to schedule a call for the solstice retreat members. I got to promote the event for Miami. I got to get a post ready for my Instagram. I got to launch my mentorship. I got to catch up on all DMs and messages. I got to get video footage from my brother AWOL. I got to send in the flyer for the Sunday Night Vision call. I got to edit my YouTube channel bio. I got to create a 30-day game plan for my IG. And then I got to create a business page for my LinkedIn. So I had wrote that down for the first week of September. I had 14 things I had to get done. Majority, I think, so I got done basically 12 out of the 14 things. Still working on finishing up the business page for my LinkedIn and a couple of other things. But what the brain dump helps me out so much, and I only want to share this with you guys because at the beginning of the week is the best time to do it, is create a brain dump. Maybe you may have 5 things you really got to get done this week. Maybe you got to get 10, 15 things. I promise you, if you start to do this at the beginning of the week, you will have so much more productive weeks. You guys have no idea how much those brain dumps have helped me out because I take the time to write it down. And then usually what would be a lot of weight for me would usually would feel like, man, I got a lot to do this week. It ends up turning out to be not as much because I get things done fast. So here's the strategy. Write down all the things you got to get done this week that are important to you, right? Just write it down first. And then what you do is on the side of it, create another list, what is most important to least important of what you got to get done on that brain dump. So put the most important thing that needs to get done for the week, boom, and then do it from most important to least important all the way down. This is so key. And then the way that you do it is you can't do number 2 without finishing number 1. So you finish number 1, you go to number 2. Once you get number 2 done, then you could go to number 3. Once you go to number 3, you go to number 4. And that's how I usually do it. I do it from most important to least important. And I can't get the following one done until I get the first one done. Unless I'm going to basically put it on standby for the time being and then continue on to the next one. Brain dumps have been, in my opinion, this year have been my most productive tool. It has allowed me to get a lot of things done that I usually would have put to the side, that I usually would have brushed under the rug and forgot about. But brain dumps have absolutely been a game changer for me and has allowed me to become more productive each and every single week. So, second thing I recommend you guys to do is do a brain dump. That's number 2. And then the last tip I want to give you guys is always finish your schedule on your calendar before you start the week. Quick tip: finish your calendar on finish your week on your calendar before you start it. So go into your calendar. I highly recommend Google Calendar. Highly recommend Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, either one, the one that comes with the phone. But finish your week. Get in the habit of every single week before you start your week that you already have it all planned out, from your wake up time to your morning routines to your study time to your work time. Include your breakfasts, your lunches, your dinners, include meetings, phone calls, everything from quality time with the kids to quality time with your significant other, included all in there. All right. Make sure you have a schedule. Do not enter the week with just no schedule. You want to get in the habit of having a schedule that you follow each and every single week. All right. Those are 3 very productive tips that I highly recommend you guys to do. Make it a part of your rituals, your routines, where every Sunday before you start the week, you do those 3 things. You do your evaluation, you do your brain dumps, and you do your calendar. Those 3 things right there are highly, highly effective when it comes to your productivity. And if you want to add an extra one in there, congratulations letters, weekly congratulations letter are also very important as well. That's just like a little extra bonus. I usually don't do them every week. I like to do them every month. But if you want to do one for the week, they're also very effective as well. Basically, congratulating yourself ahead of time for the week that you are about to have. It kind of creates that winning feeling before you even experience it. All right, guys. So put a 3 in the chat box if you guys appreciate those 3 tips real quick. Just real quick, 3 tips that can really make a massive shift in each and every single one of you. And if you're on this call and you're listening to this and you haven't gotten in the habit of doing those 3 things, just take this week and be like, you know what? I'm going to do what Nano said. I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to do my evaluation. I'm going to do the brain dump, and I'm going to make sure that I also create my schedule for the week. And I'm telling you, if you get in the habit of doing that every week, and guys, let me tell you guys, that takes less than 30 minutes to do. Those 30 minutes that you dedicate to that will make you more productive than prior weeks. Those little 3 things right there, those 30 minutes will make sure that you maximize on your production for a whole entire week. And remember, if you stack up weeks, then that means you stack up months. If you stack up months, you stack up quarters, and quarters lead to halves, halves lead to years. So you want to stack up those weeks because it's going to make a big, big difference. All right, guys. So those are just little quick 3 tips that I wanted to make. I always remind you guys of them because I know that I had to be reminded a couple of times before I actually did it. I've actually read recently that sometimes it takes people to listen to things 6 to 7 minutes. I mean, sorry, not 6 to 7 minutes. It takes people 6 to 7 times to hear something to actually apply the information, right? So sometimes it takes for me to repeat it 6, 7 times for you guys to hear this and for actually apply it. I'm sure some of you guys have heard this in the past and still haven't applied it. All right. I've been there before. All right. But I want to make sure that you guys do this because I know how valuable this is. All right. So now let me start with my training here. So if you're on the call, you guys got here right on time. I did a little quick 3 tips that I wanted everybody to do. But today we're going to be talking about a very valuable training. So as you guys know, over the week, last week, I was at the Patrick Bet David event. And at the Patrick Bet David event, we learned a lot. He gives us this whole workbook of almost 300 pages filled with different training, strategies, techniques, and everything that we need in order for us to become successful business owners during this season. And one of the trainings that he did that I really valued and I appreciated was how to defeat Goliath. All right. How to defeat Goliath, how to defeat the challenges that we have in our lives. Instead of our challenges getting the best of us, how can we be able to defeat the Goliath on a personal development level? So I'm going to give you guys the 5 ways on how you can defeat Goliath in this quarter 4, right? Because we're in quarter 4, basically going into this training, going into this day right here. All right. So I'm going to be going over the 5 ways that you can defeat Goliath going into this quarter 4. So let's jump right into number 1. Number 1, all right, is know your weaknesses, but also know your giant's weaknesses. All right. Know your weaknesses, but also know your giant's weaknesses. What do I mean by that? You got to understand that you can't conquer what you're not willing to confront. You cannot conquer what you're not willing to confront. So we got to get honest about the areas where you're falling short. You got to get honest about the areas where you're slipping up. You got to get honest about the areas where there's other people that have more control over you than yourself. It's important for us to make awareness of this. So, what are areas right now that you're weak at? Is it your discipline? Is it your ability to deal with failure? Is it your emotional intelligence? Is it your physical ability to get in the gym? What is it? Is it your consistency? What are your weaknesses right now? We need to become aware of them. We need to become aware of our weaknesses because if we are not aware of them, then we cannot fix them. We can't conquer what we are not willing to confront. And right now, with the way that the world is, with everything that's happening, the enemy is out there. He's out there, and it's obvious. He's out there to install fear. He's out there to install doubt insecurities. He's out there right now installing it, making people scared. So we need to be stronger than that. And instead of feeding our weaknesses, we need to feed our strengths. We need to identify what our weaknesses are. So, in the chat, real quick, if you guys could, what is one weakness that comes to your mind that you've identified that is holding you back right now? All right. What is one weakness? Type it in the chat box for me. It could be your consistency, it could be your resilience, it could be your emotional intelligence, it could be your lack of building your relationship with God, it could be your budgeting, it could be your inability to prepare. All right. It could be procrastination, it could be your indecisiveness, it could be smoking. All right. It could be many things. It could be your time management. All right. What is a weakness right now that you've identified that you need to work on this week, that you're going to start working on this week? Right. So I'm looking in the chat right here. I see procrastination, time management, being consistent with the gym since my back accident, a bike accident. Okay. The ability to trust, consistency, and discipline. Here we go. Some environments, pre planning, time management, self-sabotage, time management, a lot of time management. Okay. Eating healthy consistently, emotional intelligence, a lot of time management. You know, I may have to do a time management training because it seems like we do need a time management training here within this call. So, from what I see, for the most part, a lot of it is time management. It seems like a lot of it is discipline, consistency. All right. It seems like it's a lot of this, right? And here's the thing about that, right? When when we're weak in one area, I remember my mentor once told me, saying, you know, what happens with weaknesses is that if you're weak in one area, it usually bleeds over to the next area. So if you're weak in your consistency, all right, then that's going to bleed over to maybe your resilience. If you're weak in your resilience, then that's going to lead to, lack of self-image, procrastination, ha- eating habits, time management, all these other things is usually bleed. So we have to get down to the root cause, right? And you got to see, right? Let's use procrastination, right? Let's say procrastination is your giant. Understand, right? Most of the time, procrastination always shows up when you feel overwhelmed. So knowing this allows you to break tasks into small bite-sized wins so you can be able to overcome that. Remember, guys, you gotta keep this in mind. You gotta know your weaknesses, but you also have to know your giant's weakness. So for a lot of us, time management is our weakness, right? So you know that, but now we gotta find the weakness within the time management. Okay, understanding, all right, I lack time management. That's my thing. And I know that if I lack time management, it is my job as a leader and as a leader of my family, a leader of my organization, that I got to manage my time better. So I must every single day or every single Sunday make sure that I sit down with my calendar and create a calendar for the week that helps me manage my time better, where I'm using time blocking as an example. We gotta remember, you can't defeat the giant if you're not working towards it. So for example, for all my people that set time management as a challenge or a weakness that you're dealing with, if you're not taking actions towards better managing your time, then it's only going to hold you back more and more and more. And look, I'll tell you guys what, my mentor once told me, saying, there's no such thing as time management, is activity management. You can't manage time, you can only manage activities. You can't manage time, you can only manage activities. So it's important that we manage the activities that we're taking on a day-to-day basis, because time's going to keep moving. But all we can do is manage our activities. That's why one of my favorite quotes is, it doesn't matter how much time you put in, is what you put in the time. It's what you do during the time that matters. So we got to identify those weaknesses and we got to start working towards them. right? If you know that consistency is an issue for you, discipline is an issue for you, we have to identify that and we have to work towards that every day now. And it starts with one day. One day, set goals for yourself. My goal today is to start my morning routine day in and day out. Start the gym. Start with day one. If you can do day one, now set a goal to reach 3 days. That's how I always did it. I always did it that way, right? If I want to get back into a routine of something, I always set goals. Okay, now all we got to do is do it Monday. If you could do it Monday, then I want you to do it till Wednesday. If you could do it Wednesday, do it till Friday. If you could do it till Friday, do it for the rest of the week. Go all 7 days. So those were usually my check marks. When I was looking to get back into a consistency of something, I would always start with day one. Okay, Nano, just prove to yourself that you could do your morning routine Monday. Boom, I did it. I got it done. Great. Now, Nano, prove to yourself that you could do it till Wednesday. So I would do it Tuesday and then I would do it Wednesday. Okay, so you did 3 days. Good. You've been consistent 3 days. Now prove to yourself that you could do it till Friday, all 5 days. Boom, boom, boom. Do it Thursday, do it Friday. Now I'm at 5 days. I went from being inconsistent to now doing it 5 days in a row. And then I push myself to do it over the weekend. Push yourself now to do it till Sunday. So now come Sunday, guess what? I was just consistent with my routine for 7 days in a row. Let me ask you guys a question on this call, and let's be truthful. When was the last time that you did your morning routine intentionally all 7 days, from Monday all the way to Sunday? Consistently, every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that you can honestly say, you know what, Nano, I've done it consistently for the last 7 days, no slip ups. If you haven't, then there's a lack of consistency and discipline happening. It's been 2 weeks. This morning, that's something I don't slip on. It's been a while for real, and if I'm being honest, look at that. Tour, sheesh, no BS, 3 weeks. See what I'm saying? The consistency is lacking. It's a weakness, right? Some people have weeks that they don't do it. Some people have months they don't do this. But it's something that in reality, we should be doing every single day. We should be doing this every single day. Because if I was to ask you guys, hey, did you shower the last 3 weeks? Did you eat the last 3 weeks? Did you brush your teeth the last 3 weeks? Everybody would be like, yes, 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 yes. Why? Because it's a part of our lifestyle. But if I would have asked you, hey, have you done your morning routine the last 3 weeks every day? You see, this is where we can't slip. We got to identify that, yo, this is an area where I'm slipping up in, and I got to get back to it. Right? I've slipped up on the gym myself. I've slipped up on the gym myself. I've identified that. So I know I got to get back into it. I've identified that, so I know I got to get back into it. I felt good today because I was able to get back into my routine again as well. A lot of travels the last couple of days, a lot of events. So, obviously things get thrown off, but you got to get back into it immediately, right? So identify the weaknesses. Write this down, and I'll say it again. You can't conquer what you're not willing to confront. You got to get back into it. You got to get back in the gym. You got to get back to the routine. You got to get back to posting on social media. You have to get back to it. You got to make that your strength. All right. So, number one, the first way to beat Goliath is identifying your weaknesses. Number two, you got to specialize in your strengths. Specialize in your strengths. What are the areas where you know you're strong at? Mornings with Nano is a strength of mine. My morning routine is a strength of mine. All right. There's a lot of things I can think of that I'm strong at. But what are the things that you can focus on that are your strengths that'll make you even better? That'll help you grow more. That'll help you be more consistent. What are those areas for you? Specialize in those strengths. If you're great at connecting with people, Guess what? Continue to build more relationships, go to more events. That's one thing I'm great at. I'm great at connecting with people. It's a strength of mine. So guess what? I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to make more phone calls. I'm going to go to more networking events. All right. I'm going to reach out to more people on social media because I'm great at that. I'm great at connecting with people. It's a strength of mine. I love going to networking events. All right. If I were to show you guys my phone is filled with people that I connected with at the vault, over 40 to 50 people. All right. I'm great at that. I'm great at reading books. I'm great at so many things. I focus on those things and I get better at them. But I'm also working on, like I said, number one, the weaknesses, the areas where I'm slipping at. Because believe it or not, reading was once a weakness to me. Waking up early was once a weakness for me. Talking to people, connecting with people was once weaknesses for me. My social brand, posting myself on social media was once a weakness for me. Speaking in front of the camera like I'm doing right now was once a weakness for me. But you know what I did? I started to work on them. Today, these things are strengths of mine. Today, they're strengths. Speaking in front of the camera is a strength. Reading is a strength. Meditating is a strength. Connecting with people is a strength. But at one point, those were weaknesses. Now they're strengths. But because I've made these strengths now, I have to identify other areas where I'm weak at so I can get better at it. This is important because you see in this book right here, this is another event that I had went to at the beginning of the year with Patrick Bet-David. He literally starts, let me show you guys this. He starts this book with the 10 most famous shipwrecks. The bigger the leak, the sooner you are going to sink. Now, obviously here, he's talking about business, organizations. But the same way organizations have leaks is the same way us as individuals, we also have leaks. Those are identified as our weaknesses. All right. So we got to keep that in mind. The same way businesses have leaks, we also have leaks as individuals. And majority of the leaks that happen within a business is a reflection of the leaks that leaders have within themselves. This is important that we all understand that. The leaks that happen in our businesses, in our lives, in our families, and in all areas of our lives are all reflection of the leaks we have within. We got to become aware of that. All right. So you got to identify who exactly you want to be. Leverage your strengths. Leverage them. Delegate and strengthen the weaknesses whenever you get a chance. That was something that Patrick talked about that it really made a lot of sense to me because it's super key. All right. We got to keep that in mind. So that was number 2, specialize in your strengths. Number 3, move quickly. Move quickly towards fixing this. You know, there is a 48 to 72 hour window from the time you learn something till you apply it to be able to start the miracle making process is what it's called, right? There's a 48 hour to 72 hour window that from the moment you learn something, you have to apply it. Because if you don't apply majority of the time, it just gets forgotten. It just becomes another page in your notebook and nothing happens from it and no checks are going to be cashed from those notes. Once I learned that, I took my application process to the next level because it's true. How many times have we been on a call? How many times have we heard a podcast, read a book, went to an event, we learned something and we didn't apply it right away and it just became another page in our notes, another lesson that we learned that we didn't get a chance to apply because we didn't use the 48-hour rule. You have 48 hours to apply it, 72 at max. But I call it the 48-hour rule. From the moment you learn something, you have 48 hours to apply it or less, or it becomes forgotten. Type a 1 in the chat box if you've learned something in the past that you forgot to apply and then it became forgotten. It just became another memory. It just became another page in your notes. I'm sure that happens a lot with Mornings with Nano, right? You jump on Mornings with Nano a couple times a week and you're not applying what's being taught. It's a pretty good chance that there's a lot of pages in your notes right now that are not being applied. There's a lot of books that you've read that are not being applied. There's a lot of podcasts that you've listened to, a lot of events that you've been to that you haven't applied. So when I go to these events, right, my like, for example, over the weekend, what I was doing since I went to this event, I'm already thinking of all the different things that I'm going to apply from this book, right? Last night, I did a training for my team on this. This morning, I'm doing another training. Why? Because I can learn by teaching. But on top of that, there's also a lot of notes that I wrote down that I still got to go back and apply myself. All right. I'm still applying things from this book as well. So what am I doing? I'm using the 48-hour rule because I understand the importance of it. I know that if I spend another week not reading anything from this book, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to forget almost everything that I got from the book because I didn't use the 48-hour rule. I didn't act quickly. You have to act quickly right there and then. You got to take advantage of it, right? You can't be the person that is learning and just learning to learn. You got to learn to apply. How many of us, I remember before I went on the 1 week off for the event, we were teaching on this book and we talked about the importance of imagination, visualizing your goals. When was the last time you visualized your goals? When was the last time you sat down and closed your eyes and saw yourself in possession of what it is that you want? We talked about this. This is something that needs to be done daily. It needs to become a part of your daily routine. How many of us are visualizing every single day? How many of us are writing our goals down every single day, knowing we have to do this? Knowing we have to do this, we got to start making these things a priority. Stop putting things off to the side. Let's make sure that we're making a priority the things that are going to help us become better. So number 3 is we got to move quickly. Move quickly on the things that you learned this week. Not just with what I'm teaching you, but everything else that you learned this week. If you're on this call and you heard my training or my 3 tips at the beginning of the call, you know what you do? There's either 1 or 3 people here. You're either the person that took it and started applying it right away and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it while I'm on this call with Nano. You're either person number 2 that said, you know what, I'm gonna do it right after this call, or you're person number 3, you're gonna ignore it and just make it another page in your notes. Apply it. The moment this call finishes, 3 tips. Nano said I gotta do my evaluation, I gotta do my brain dump, and I gotta finish my calendar I gotta finish my week on my calendar. Let me do it. Let me act quickly. Let me move quickly. Let me apply this 48-hour rule. Let me get in the habit of applying what I learned immediately. And I said I got to get in the gym. Let me go to the gym today. And I said I got to start reading the books. Let me read the books today. And I said I got to post on social media. Let me make a post. Let me get a post ready for social media today. I haven't posted in weeks. I haven't posted in months. Let me get a post ready for social media today. Let's move quickly towards the goals. All right, because here's what happens. If you hear what I'm saying, you heard me give you 3 tips that are going to help you be more productive. You choose to ignore it, then guess what? That's going to be the rest of the week for you. You're going to hear something else, you're going to ignore it. You're going to hear something else, you're going to ignore it. You're going to hear something else, and you're going to get in the habit of ignoring information. You're going to be good at hearing the information, but in reality, you're not applying the information. And what happens is those days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years. And I've been there before where I don't move quickly. One of the things that I made a priority going into this last quarter that I said the main thing I want to work on is speed of execution. Speed of execution. The speed in the execution of when I get told something or I learn something new. The speed of execution. Let's work on it right now. Let me work on this right now. Let me read this book right now. Let me work on this immediately. Because the thing with us is, I'll be honest, and this is, like I said, when I speak to all of us. We don't take action fast enough. We paralyze ourselves because we overthink. We start wondering, well, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. I'll put it off. I'll do it next week. I'll wait till October 1st so I can start off at the right time. You know what? It's Thursday. You know what? I'll wait till Monday to start off the week. And we love to put things off. And instead of moving quickly, we move slow. We move lethargic. And that holds us back. And that's the reason why your business doesn't grow as fast as you want it to. That's why your finances aren't growing. That's why the blessings are taking longer, is because of the energy that you are moving at. Did you know that your blessings will come in a lot faster if you were moving a lot faster? Did you know that God would bless you a lot faster if you were moving with that sense of urgency? But because you're moving slow, it's taking a lot of time for your blessings to arrive. Because remember, it's an exchange of energy. If you want to take your time, God is going to take his time. Right? He moves when you move. So if you want to take your time, you want to procrastinate, he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to take my time. And I'm going to wait till they're ready. And then here's the thing. Sometimes we complain. Well, why haven't I received my blessing? Why hasn't my financial life changed? Why hasn't the blessings arrived? Why haven't I got to the next level? Well, look at the pace that you're moving at. Look at the pace that you're moving at. You haven't even done your morning routine in weeks. When was the last time you posted on social media? When was the last time you worked on yourself? When was the last time you went to the gym? When was the last time you made yourself a priority? When was the last time you prayed? When was the last time you went to church? Become aware, family. I'm giving you guys the real spill right here. So let's move quickly this week. We learned something. Let's get right to it. Like I said, I gave you guys something that I learned. I gave you guys 3 tips. You may not be moving quickly with everything else, but take those 3 tips and move quickly with that. Let me start with this, with what Nano said. Let me do these 3 tips. I've never done it. Let me do it. Let me do the evaluation. Let me do the brain dump, and let me do the calendar. Let me start with this and then go. That's super, super important. All right. So that's number 3. Number 4. All right. Appear bigger than you are. Appear bigger than you are. Nano, what do you mean by that? Remember, guys, confidence is contagious. Confidence is contagious. If you carry yourself with a vision, with preparation, with belief in yourself, people will see you greater than your circumstances. All right? Appear bigger than you are. And let me tell you guys, I know it takes time to get there, but start working towards that. One day of being productive can literally give you the confidence boost that you need to appear bigger than you are. One day. I can tell you guys from experience because it has taken me one day to get my confidence back. I've been non-confident. I didn't have belief in myself. I was doubting myself. And all it took was one day of me getting up on time, getting up, doing my bed, praying to God, reading my Bible, doing the gym, reading my book, visualizing my goals, writing them down. All it took was one day of me doing that, and I snapped back into it. Now I'm confident again. My chest is up. I have belief again in myself. I see myself better. I make sure that I make myself a priority. I post on social media. I finish my brain dump. I'm feeling good. I write the congratulations letter to myself. Out of nowhere, Nano went from being this unconfident, not believing in himself, lazy, lethargic individual to now Nano believes in himself. His confidence is through the roof. Everything is work because of one day. Appear bigger than you are because you are big. Don't let your lack of confidence, don't let your lack of actions hold you back. Take one day to make a change. You can literally snap out of it and become so confident in yourself. And you may be like, well, Nano, I'm not there yet. I need more time. My finances may not reflect my confidence yet. But I'm telling you guys right now, I was broke and I was one of the most confident people in the room because I was appearing larger than I was based off of the actions that I was taking for myself. Work on you, develop you. I've walked into rooms with barely any money in my pockets, but I was the most confident person in there. You know why? Because I was putting the work in on myself. I was appearing larger than I was. And you know when I knew it was real, when people would be like, yo, are you a millionaire? Like, what do you do? You look very, very successful. I love the confidence. I love the energy that you're radiating right now. And I would think to myself, be like, yo, it's working. That's what I would always tell myself. I'm like, oh my God, it's working. I remember once I went up to somebody and I introduced myself to somebody. I'm like, hey, what's up? My name is Nano Torres. What's your name? And, I came with my big smile. And the person was like, man, I love your energy, bro. Like you have this energy to you that is contagious. You have this confidence to you. And instead of saying it to myself, I said, it's working. And he's like, what's working? And I'm like, nah, just this thing that I'm working on myself and stuff. He's like, whatever it is that you are working on, it is working. Because I literally said it out loud. I'm like, it's working. Because in the book, actually in this book right here, it's funny how I have all these books in arm's reach. In this book right here, Psycho Cybernetics is all about your self-image, right? And in the book, it says that the world will see you as you see yourself. And in the book, at one point, it says that you will know that your self-image is being worked on and that is accurate when other people start to see you as what you see yourself. So when the guy told me like, yo, you have this energy to you, you look like a millionaire, you have this confidence, I was like, perfect, it's working. And that's why I said it out loud. I'm like, it's working to myself. But deep down, I'm like, yo, I'm just happy that people are seeing me as I'm seeing myself. And even though at the time I wasn't where I wanted to be financially, I wasn't where I wanted to be in my business, I wasn't where I wanted to be in general, guess what? I was appearing bigger than I was because guess what? My energy. That's why they say your energy will introduce you before you introduce yourself. And that is true. You ever have somebody walk in the room and they have bad energy and they haven't even spoke to you. They haven't even introduced themselves, but naturally they have bad energy and guess what? You just know that, right? Anybody ever been in a room with somebody like that they walk in and naturally you're like, "Yo, that person's energy is no bueno, no good." Right? That's why they say your energy introduces you before you introduce yourself. And that is so important for all of us to understand that. So appear bigger. I want to be able to go on your Instagram story today and be like, yo, this person is appearing bigger than they are usually. Appearing bigger. Show up to your job bigger. Show up to your friend's house bigger. When you go meet up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend later, appear bigger. Let them be like, yo, what's up with you today? Like, yo, you radiating good, positive, uplifting energy. Like if you're not getting compliments today because of your energy, that means you need more work done. Like somebody needs to come up to you today and be like, yo, you are vibrating high, right? For my ladies, they need to be coming up to you and be like, yo, sister, you are glowing right now. You are glowing positivity. You are glowing and radiating confidence and discipline right now. If you are not receiving those compliments, is because you're not doing the work behind the scenes. You're not believing that about yourself. You're not going out there with the intention to do so. All right. That is something that we have to be doing more of. Right. We want to beat Goliath. We want to beat the challenges in our lives. We got to be bigger. You can imagine if you show up to a fight scared. Right. Like, I'm going to fail. I'm going to lose this fight. The enemy's going to get the best of you. The enemy will always get the best of the person that lets themselves fall for the circumstances around them. It happens. It happens. Think about the bullies, right? Think about bullies. If a bully sees that you're scared of him or her, What do they continue to do? They continue to bully you but the moment you stand up for yourself, the moment you show up and you're confident and you believe in yourself and you defend yourself, then guess what? They stop bullying you. It's the same thing with life. Life will bully you. If you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't get strong, if you don't show up with confidence, life will bully you. I've been bullied by life in the past. I don't let life bully me anymore. All right. Life could be stronger than me at the time. Things could be going, but you know what? I show up strong every day, chest up, and I'll never let life see that I'm going through it. You guys never know if I'm ever going through it. You know why? Because I'll never let life bully me. I'm stronger than it. I have God on my side. I know life be lifing sometimes, but I got to stay strong. I got to keep the word next to me. I got to keep developing myself. I got to keep getting in the gym. I got to keep reading the books. I got to keep going to these events. Me going to this event right here, you know what this did? It equipped me. It gave me more strength. It gave me more value. It gave me more to be prepared for. That's why I'm able to jump on this call and pour into you guys with confidence. All right. So number 4 is appear bigger than you are. All right. So today I'm going over the 5 ways to beat Goliath. We said number 1, know your weaknesses. We said number 2, specialize in your strengths. We said number 3, move quickly. Number 4, appear bigger than you are. And last but not least, form alliances. Form alliances. What do you mean by that? Partner up with other people that are going through the same thing. Make friends with people that are working towards being better. Think about it. I'm so grateful. I was able to go to this conference with close to 70 people. That's my alliance. We were working together. I was able to stay at an Airbnb with over 15 of the top individuals within Alpha Society. That's my alliance. These are the people that I'm at battle with. You guys are part of my alliance. We are an alliance right here. We are all working towards becoming better, growing and elevating our visions and growing closer to God, especially in times like right now. We need this. You're not going to fight alone. But remember, part of your alliance is not just your friends, it's not just strangers, it's not just your business partners. Most importantly is God. God is the leader of the alliance. If you don't have a relationship with God right now, this is the time to start building it. This is the time to start reading the word. This is the time to start educating yourself on exactly what you need to do in order to start building that relationship. Open up that Bible. Get to church on Sundays. All right. Ask for forgiveness. Build that relationship. Pray. Give back. Do what's required. Work on you. Make the decision now. That's part of your alliance. God is a part of my alliance. I don't move forward without him next to me or in front of me. Right? I don't go. He's guiding me through this whole entire process. Every single one of my steps is divinely protected. I feel good. I know he got my front, I know he got my back, and I know he got my sides. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I know I got God, but you know what I also know I have? I have my family. I have my team. I have my community, which is you guys. I feel confident. I have a strong alliance. I got my mentors. Like when I think about it, I think about my alliance. I'm like, yo, I got a strong alliance. I got God in my alliance. I got my family. I got my team with Alpha Society. I got my community with you guys. I got my mentors. Bro, I am protected. Right? Like I got my family. Like there's nothing better than making sure that you have all of that. Having God in your center, having great friends in your center, having a good community. Like there's nothing better than this. Form that. I even got Hazel and Blue here with me. They're part of my alliance, right? They protect me as much as they can. They're more like my cuddle buddies. I love those dogs so much. They're amazing. But they protect me when they knock at the door. They think everybody's an enemy. But that's part of life though. You need your alliances. And that's how we're going to be able to defeat Goliath in Q4. All right. You want to defeat Goliath, you want to beat the challenges in Q4, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to know your weaknesses, number one. You're going to have to specialize in your strengths. You're going to have to move quickly. You're going to have to appear bigger than you are. And you're going to have to form alliances. You're going to have the right people around you, all around your energy, around your business, your life, your home, every single place. You got to have them there. All right, guys. So those are the 5 ways to defeat Goliath. I got that training directly from the workbook and Patrick Bet-David. He gave us like 10 ways or something like that. I broke it down into 5, the 5 most important ones. Work on this, please. Use this time. The most valuable thing that I would do if I'm you and I'm on this call, I gave you guys 5 really good tips. But the most important one, in my opinion, is identifying the weaknesses and the 48-hour rule. If you can do those 2 right there, everything else will fall into place. If you can identify the weaknesses and move quickly and apply immediately, a lot of things can change for you guys really, really quick. Remember, success is a decision away. Sometimes we think we're a lot further than we are, but in reality, you're just one decision away. You can make a decision right now when this call finishes and everything can change for you. But it's making the decision. It's making the decision. Yo, you know what? Nano was right. I haven't been consistent. I haven't been disciplined. I haven't been applying information fast. I've been a procrastinator. But he did say that I have a 48-hour rule. Let me start with the 3 tips he gave me. Let me do my evaluation. Let me do my brain dump, and let me put my schedule on my calendar. Let me start with those 3 things, and then I'll go on. And I'm telling you, those 3 things could be what helps you start the rest of the week and help you have a productive week and day. That's really all it is. All right, guys. So I'm excited to be back. If you guys got value from today's training, put some 555s in the chat box. We got over 120 plus people on today's call. I wanted to bring back something simple, something easy, straight to the point that can help us defeat the Goliath. Because I know that right now we have Goliaths in our lives and on our Instagrams. We're seeing it all over the place. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of it. Because in times like this, we got to be ready to defeat the enemy. We got to be ready to defeat the challenges, become better, grow, elevate. And let's run it up. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys so much for hopping on this call. I'm going to get ready to make myself some breakfast, just do a couple things around the house, walk the dogs, do a couple of other things. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day. Make sure that you guys move quickly. Right after this call, move quickly. Write down right now, what is the next thing you're going to do, right? The moment this call ends, the moment I hit end stream and I pray for us, what's going to be the next action you take? What's going to be a productive action that you take right after this call finishes? I want you to move quickly towards that. I have a couple things I got to do. I'm moving quickly towards that. I have calls. I got things I got to do. I'm moving quickly. What are you going to do to move quickly? And what action is it that you're going to take? All right, fam. So I'm praying over you guys. I hope that you guys really, really do have a phenomenal week. Trust me, I know that this week is going to be extremely productive. We're coming up on the last couple of days of the third quarter of the year. Fourth quarter starts October 1st. Fourth quarter starts October 1st. So we only have 2 weeks left of the third quarter before we go into official fourth quarter. All right. So I'm going to do a little prayer for us, and then we're going to basically wrap it up right now. I'll go talk to my business owners to get my yes on my ATM business. Let's go, Chiquita. Go crush that. Make breakfast, write down my goals, to-do list for the week. All right. Quick prayer, and then we'll wrap it up. Father God, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to wake up on this beautiful Monday morning. We are all feeling so blessed and so grateful for the opportunity to wake up and work on ourselves, Today, we talked about beating Goliath and identifying the areas in our lives where we are weak, identifying the areas where we need to continue to strengthen, and just moving more quickly and working towards the things that are going to help us become more productive and continue to be the examples that we want to see in the rest of the world. We also want to send our healing and prayers to all the families that are dealing with all the tough times right now, from Kirk's family to the shootings in schools and everything that's happening all around the world, Father. We send our prayers and our healing hand to all of those individuals during this tough time, because we know that we are all one family and we are all united. I also want to say, Father, thank you so much for sticking with us through these times and being there, and also guiding us and giving us all the right words and putting all the right people in our lives so that we can continue to grow and we can continue to elevate. Everything that we do is for your glory and for your praise, and we're just so grateful that we get a chance to follow you, Lord. So thank you so much. Let's go out there. Let's have a productive day and a productive week. And in your name we pray. Amen. 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 All right. All right, guys. Let me get to some work. I appreciate you guys hopping on. We are back tomorrow again, same time. Obviously, I want to make up for all the calls that I missed last week. So I'm gonna bring some fire for us all week. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. If you haven't liked this video, leave a like, and then leave a comment below on what your biggest takeaway was. Share it with anybody that you feel like needs to hear the message today. And let's continue to grow. Let's continue to elevate. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Let's have an amazing, productive day. God bless. Thank you, fam.